What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Welcome back to the channel. As we get closer to Avengers Doomsday, we are beginning to learn more and more about what the actual plot for this film is going to be. But more specifically, we're starting to learn a little bit more about Doctor Doom and his origin story. And from what we've heard from several different insiders at this point in time, it is going to be pretty tragic. And we've even heard a trailer description very recently that says it'll start off with the trailer, that is, and most likely the movie as well, with Doctor Doom in a cemetery looking at the headstones of his family. And several insiders at this point in time have reported that Doctor Doom had a family, but he's lost them. And that sort of puts him on a revenge path. And we have another new report today backing that up. But also at the same time, the Russo brothers have seemingly teased something that confirms this plot leak. And they have something on display at their headquarters that I think is also a pretty big confirmation that this is actually the direction that they're heading for Avengers Doomsday. And if they go this way, it is an interesting choice, but there could be some really cool things they could do with Reed and Doom, because a lot of people, myself included in that, really want there to be kind of like a deep history between Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom. I would really like them to have the college story where they go to college with each other and they're roommates and they develop a rivalry and Doom starts to hate Reed. I would like that to happen, but this would offer kind of a different twist, a different reason why he would hate Reed. So we'll first start off by getting into this report from the insider My Time to Shine Hello. She states, if I understand it correctly, Victor Von Doom's wife and son were killed in an accident, and Victor himself was injured and his body damaged. He traced the cause of the accident to Steve Rogers, going back in time. And now he's after him to avenge his family. Are you Team Steve or Doom? And that's actually an interesting question because we've asked for a while. Do you think Steve Rogers deserved to go back in time and have his happy ending? Or do you think he actually owed it to his timeline, his Earth, his Avengers team, his people of Earth to stay and be an Avenger? What do you think? And in this instance, it's kind of interesting because Doom in his head would be the Avenger if he's going back to avenge his family. So Avengers Doomsday could literally be about Doomsday, avenging his family. He could be the Avenger. And we've heard that he is going to see himself as a hero. So that kind of makes sense. But My Time to Shine Hello isn't the only one who's reported this. In fact, we had an anonymous leak online coming from somebody who claimed that they worked or are currently working on the movie, and that this is true. But they specifically said that Sue Storm and Franklin Richards, or I guess it would be Franklin Von Doom, are his family. They're his wife and his son in the universe that he comes from. So if that's true, and if this report is true, and again, many people at this point in time are reporting this, that means Doctor Doom does not come from the Fantastic Four's 828 universe, which is why I feel kind of conflicted about this, because I really want Doom to be from that universe so we have that rivalry with Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards. However, this is a little bit different, I think. It offers somewhat of a rivalry because I'm just based on the fact that Sue Storm would be in his universe probably means that Reed is going to be in that universe. And it might mean that the Maker could actually come from that universe. If Sue doesn't marry Reed, we could go the Maker story route. We'll have to wait and see on that. I think that could be a good way to bring in the Maker though. And then when Doom finally runs into the other Reed Richards, he'll be jealous that he got the life that Doom wanted. Doom had his wife, he had his kid, but it was taken away from him. Reed, that wasn't taken away from him. And that's why Doom could show up in that, or that's why he showed up in the post-credit scene for the Fantastic Four First Steps. But here's something really interesting about this. With these reports, at first, there was another report that says Doom's universe got completely destroyed, and his family along with that. This one says that he was injured in an accident, and that same accident seems like killed his family. And then in the trailer description, it says that he was in a cemetery looking at the headstones of his lost family. That leads me to think that perhaps his universe wasn't fully destroyed, but what if an incursion was happening? In the comics, the only way to really save your universe and Earth from dying to an incursion is to destroy the other universe. What if that's what Doctor Doom did? What if that's what the people of their Earth did? They destroyed the other universe. Especially if there's a maker there. The maker could do that. Smart enough, probably has the tech to destroy the other universe. So what if during the incursion, during an attack maybe from the other Earth to try to destroy their Earth, his family is killed? He survives it though, and now he seeks revenge because somehow he narrowed it down to Steve Rogers going back in time. Maybe that, it's the butterfly effect. Just one thing can really just ripple off and just change things just so drastically. And somehow that led to Doctor Doom losing his family in an accident. I think it would make sense that it would be an incursion because then that would get his character involved in the multiverse. Thank you to the Pendragon Cycle for sponsoring this video. I was already really excited for the Pendragon Cycle Rise of the Merlin show because it's an epic high fantasy show. So when they reached out asking me to react to the trailer, I was excited to do so. The Pendragon Cycle Rise of the Merlin is an epic 7-part series reimagining the classic legend of King Arthur. Based on the novels by Stephen R. Lawhead, the series follows Merlin and the birth of Western civilization. This is not the Camelot you know, it's the origin story of the legend itself.
They say he was a king in David.
It looks so good.
Son of a princess of lost Atlantis. The magic of the hill folk and druids come forth at his easy
I love that
command.
they're showing the magic.
They say he slew hundreds. Hundreds, do you hear?
The show looks incredibly cinematic. I mean, this looks like it's a major big screen movie. The outfits are incredible. The action and the magic look fantastic. I can't wait for the show to come out. The Pendragon Cycle Rise of the Merlin premieres exclusively on Daily Wire Plus, January 22nd, 2026. Click the link in my description to watch the full trailer now. So I think that would make a lot of sense. But then on top of it, if you look at this photo right here, this is on display at the AGBO headquarters, the Russo Brothers company's headquarters. It is Dr. Doom, Sue Storm, and Franklin Richards. This really makes me think that these plot leaks that Doom's family before was indeed Sue Storm and Franklin Richards could be true. I think this really points to the fact that those plot leaks could be accurate. Now, this could be an Avengers Secret Wars, and I actually think it's going to be both. I think it's going to be kind of his origin. He lost his family, and that leads to him taking his family back in Avengers Secret Wars, which is why we've seen that leaked concept art of Doom on the throne, Sue Storm and Franklin Richards by his side, and Doctor Strange on the other side. I think that's what's going to happen. I think, because why else would the Russo brothers have this there on display? These three very specific characters. Like, where's the rest of the Fantastic Four? Where's the Thing? Where's Johnny Storm? Where's Reed? The Russo brothers teased this in a video not too long ago, I think a couple weeks ago, but they didn't really show this. They kind of blocked it off a little bit. They were just showing the Doom helmet and an Iron Man helmet, but this is a full look at what they have on display. I think this points to his origin actually being married to Sue Storm and having a son, Franklin Von Doom. Now, when I talked about the rivalry with Reed Richards, it's not the same since he's not going to be from the universe, but he obviously knows Reed Richards. And I think that hatred for Reed having that perfect life, the one that Doom would have wanted, is going to be kind of what picks at Doom, especially as this Reed Richards and Sue Storm are going to oppose him in Avengers Endgame. They're going to fight against him along with the Avengers, and they're going to get in his way. So that anger is just going to build up. It's not the same, right? It's not the same as having Victor Von Doom from that 828 universe and having Reed and Doom go to college together, but perhaps in his universe, he did go to college with that Reed. And perhaps we can get a little bit of backstory there. And then at the same time, Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards could have went to college with a different variant of Doom as well, because we've heard multiple variants of Doom are going to show up. That was reported by Daniel RBK. So they kind of have a base of who each other are. It's not the same because they're not the actual people. They're variants that they went to college with and spent time with. But this will kind of give Reed a little bit of a backstory about who Doctor Doom is, maybe at his core. So when the Fantastic Four are telling the Avengers and the X-Men about who Doctor Doom is, he'll say, well, it's not the same one that we knew. It's clearly a different one, but the one that we knew was kind of, like this. He wasn't the best guy. We were very competitive. He tried to, get in our way a lot and do some sketchy stuff. So they could do that. And it's not the same, but they're going for an original story here, not just trying to copy Avengers Secret Wars, right? So I get what they're doing, and I think this could make sense. This could work if they do it in a good way, which I think they definitely could do that. I trust in the Russo brothers. I really do think this picture is telling us that that is the origin story, especially with the leaked concept art. So Doom loses his family, sees this other Reed Richards has the family that he wants, and basically takes it back in Avengers Secret Wars when he creates Battleworld and essentially rewrites history. Because remember, in the comics, when Battleworld is created, everybody on it, they don't remember anything from their past. Literally, he's God Emperor Doom because one, he created the world, and two, people know that he created the world, and that's literally why he is viewed as a god. He is the creator of that world. And I hope they do some things kind of similar to Secret Wars, but some things I think would be cool, but a little bit much. Like, for example, Johnny Storm, he's turned into the sun for Battleworld. He betrayed Sue and Doom because they are married, and the kids, Valeria and Franklin, are their kids in Secret Wars on Battleworld. So he betrayed them, and Doom actually said to Sue, I'll let you choose the punishment, and they turned him into the sun to power the world, which is pretty crazy. Something Sentry might be used to do, because we've seen that leaked concept art. Could be Sentry, could be Johnny. We'll have to wait and see. But I think this picture does point to the fact, along with all of the insiders reporting, Doom is on a revenge quest for his family being killed. I think that was probably caused by an incursion. And I think Sue and Franklin were the family that he lost. That will lead him to a lot of jealousy for Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards, and it would make sense that he would show up to that universe to take Franklin back, especially after somehow he figures out that Galactus wanted Franklin because he has the power cosmic. Now, there also is another option, kind of a little theory of mine, that maybe Doom was from the 828 universe. He discovered multiverse travel, went away. In another universe, he met Sue, and they fell in love, so he stayed there, and they had a family there, and then they got killed. That's also possible. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I think one thing is clear at this point in time, at least for me. It's not confirmed, obviously, but I'm thinking in my mind that these plot leaks are really accurate, and Doom lost Sue and Franklin. So now he's on a revenge quest, and also at the same time is going to save the multiverse, but also rule over it. But let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news. And you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.